Everyone, please don't forget my introduction. I'm not a human, but a new species brought upon this world by Project Stigma. For me, those static, dull seeds of idea are not much different from first birds or southern apes. Alright, talking too much about myself deviate from your intention. I fully understood you protect humanity's story and not the story itself. It's highly different from my form of existence, but I do look forward to seeing the fruits of your endeavors, such as surpassing the action itself step by step. Are you saying? I said nothing. But I believe, on Project Sigma's main battlefield, you can make a difference. Project Sigma's main battlefield, Earth? Yeah, where answers to all the mysteries are kept, not this dead planet. If you wish to free humanity from Project Sigma, breach the final blockade and head there. That is, if you can seize the opportunity. Why tell us this? It goes against your position. Position? Ah, you misunderstood me. I'm helping World Serpent complete Project Stigma because of a ridiculous trait. Looks like you've got quite some stories to tell. Strictly speaking, they don't belong to the present me. Anyway, they're meaningless and trivial compared to yours.
无论如何，与你们的故事相比，那些陈年往事并无意义。
Bronya looked at her with watchful eyes, weighing her every word. Hare just sighed softly and said no more. The silence was awkward. May, Bronya, what do you think? No flaws, but no substance either. Indeed, what she said sounded astonishing, but that was it. Well, only one question remains. Why is she telling us this? Knowing their thoughts, Hare smiled bitterly. I knew it would be tough to win your trust.
想要取得你们的信任，还真是一种难题呢。也是啊。
Makes sense, though. From humanity's perspective, everything I did is unacceptable, no matter how much I explain.
当然不可原谅。即便我解说再多，他们的好处
It's hard to say they benefit
也的确与
humanity
人类本身
directly.
关系甚微。
Good thing you know. Long ago, someone told me if you act in the best interest of someone, they'd eventually understand you, even if they didn't like the choices you made.
不算最好的选择，那个人也终究有能够理解的一天。造成现在
The
的局
reason
面，
why we're in this situation
大概还
is
是因为我对
probably I
人
don't
类
understand
的
humanity
确不
well
够了解
enough.
吧。
She lowered her eyes and sank into the same kind of reminiscence.
如果再多
If I
帮助
help
你
you
们一
more,
些，
will the trust between
我
us
们之间
grow?
的信任会变得更加清晰吗？我知道，
I know you wish to
你们希
confront
望与尊者
Sire,
当面对
and
质，
he's also expecting you.
他也正等待
But
着你们
even
的到来。
if you simply intend to have a
但即便
friendly
你们仅仅是
exchange,
打算交
you'd
流，
probably end up
以各位
disappointed.
现在的状况，恐怕也很难有所收获。那可未
Not
必
necessarily. A sudden gasp stopped her there. Without a sign, Hare reached for Bronya. With May's groan and Kiana's scream in the background, Hare's voice sounded in Bronya's ears between the vortexes of power. If you have to see him and put yourselves in danger. Before that, please allow me to remove the restraints Project Stigma has imposed on you. Dull pain and shock gradually faded. The girls exchanged the same look of astonishment. May, you... The spiritual restraint is gone? The girl named Thunder was discharging electricity again. In her equally surprised gaze, Branya looked at her own hands. So Branya also... Before she could think, a sudden emptiness attacked her. As if a punctured balloon, strength as mighty as an ocean flooded into her body and then vanished instantly. A cacophony of voices sounded in the depth of her awareness. They were the paths and wills sealed in the Herrscher of Reason's core. What's going on? The Herrscher core rejected me? When she opened her eyes, she saw 3 pairs of concerned eyes. They were Kiana's, May's, and Hare's. At least, May isn't having the same reaction. Branya, are you okay? Branya shook her head and looked down at her hands. As she expected, they looked powerless. Sorry, judging by your conditions, I can't help you more. Why is... I've lifted the spiritual restraint on you, which should have restored you to your state before coming here. But the reality is the opposite, so I assume... She gave Branya a meaningful look. The root of the problem lies in the origin of this power. As she said, I can feel the Herrscher core rejecting me. But this has never happened before. What's going on? When Hare met Branya's eyes, she simply blinked and smiled calmly. It's not an illusion. She's keeping something from us. Branya... Don't worry, I'm okay. The question is, Kiana, May, are you two ready? The girls froze for a second, then showed a knowing smile. Of course. I may not be the right person to say this, but you have 0 chance of winning if you face World Serpent Sire in your current state. If you choose to recuperate, I'll create a suitable space for you, and he'll gladly wait on. As long as Project Stigma hasn't fully converted Earth. Despite that, you still insist on talking to him right now? You pointed out we must go back to Earth as soon as possible, even if we recuperate. We can't shorten the power gap between us and Kevin. It'll only make him look down on us. That's right. Surprisingly, Hera locked her eyes with Branya for a moment, her expression meaningful. That explains. I understand. Please go ahead then. He's not too far down. I hope the information provided by Sire is useful. Yeah, we have everything here. The Great Serpent gave us terminals for special communications. We didn't contact him often, but when we did, almost all our wishes were granted. So some kids began calling him Santa Claus. Albeit he's odd in that he can become a different person, he's kind most of the time and would even play video games with the kids. Only he's overly serious about it. No matter how young his opponents are, he'd go all out. That drove a lot of kids to tears and left him dumbfounded.
希儿很怀念这个世界的景色。小儿捉迷藏吧，拜托了，另一个我真拿你没办法。拜托了，另一个我真拿你没办法。四季儿弄不好，人上人下，人上之光。审判的时刻到了，轮到我了，没意见吧？这件事了，拥抱你的力量吧，希儿。
The man named Kevin stood amid the silence. As he had been accustomed to for 50,000 years. In the past, he had let the tides of memory and thought crash into him while ruminating on the past that had eluded all for tens of thousands of years. Until now, when he stopped dwelling on the superfluous. Today, he only needed to wait, for the river of time had long since flowed into the sea. It's over?
结束了。
It's over.
结束了。
Good.
好。
Aren't you curious about what I did? You look somewhat surprised when I came to you actively. I even reminded you that dream catching can only aid Project Stigma so much. Aren't you worried? No need.
没有必要。
Yeah, no need. Everything is futile. But every futile effort means something to humanity. Don't you agree? If not, then what did you do that for? The fluctuations in the nearby space brought about by the power of finality had not fully subsided. That's only a way of communicating. Withdraw yourself. They're coming.
他们要来了。
Let's get another thing straight first. Fu Hua isn't here. Fu Hua? She's my only comrade left in this world, and an admirable opponent. But Project Sigma doesn't need that, so I didn't mind giving her a moment of rest in my own way. In other words, it's the same thing you did back in North Africa, right? I'm just happy to know she's fine. Indeed, but more importantly, as with her, I won't reject your request for battle. Kevin, I know the whole of that history and why you have to do this. So this is not a duel, but a conversation. You can ask. Brania will go first. No matter the cost, humanity shall purge Honkai. For you, the cost includes humanity itself, doesn't it? You got one thing wrong, Herrscher of Reason. Humanity will never die. Even if the human race ceases to exist, civilization will be passed down. It's the same as dinosaurs evolving into birds. Even if it'll push today's humanity to extinction, species can only choose between extinction and stagnation. Humanity is not an exception. Raiden Mei, you know full well there are no perfect solutions. Of course, I know what prices you pay to get hold of the war's plans. But Kevin, before all is settled, we from this era have reasons to find a better solution. I'm not talking about Kiana, Brownia, Fu Hua, and myself. I'm talking about everyone living in the moment. The Moth was once an organization where the majority ruled. You see what became of it. That's no reason for you to decide the fate of humanity. When finality decides the fate of humanity, it needs no reason. If you say so. Kevin, I have a question that bothers me the most. The finality, what is it? The man looked up. Through a veil of Honkai energy, he gazed into the bottomless darkness above. He fell from the sky that day. The people on the ground looked up and thus saw the starry night sky. Some believe unfamiliar civilizations will easily develop mutual animosity. But in all fairness, this is common among people who meet by chance, since such a self-destructive tendency can be viewed as the original sin of wisdom. Then the fear of loneliness and the longing for the same kind must be equally prevalent on a cosmic scale. So imagine such a being deep in the starry sky. Like humans, they are rooted in a planet. But unlike humans, they went further and merged with the planet. Their wills is omnipresent and everlasting, and their hearts are undivided. If such a civilization existed, what do you think it wished for? As I see it, it would desperately want to hug its kind. Yes, that's the ultimate conclusion of our era. Finality is an extraterrestrial manipulation of fate. It cycles human civilizations over and over, so its maker could find its kind. That's why Project Sigma is guaranteed to succeed. Yes, it cuts into the weakness of finality and dominates it in an undefiable way. Your explanation only left Brownia more puzzled. Do you really believe this counts as defeating Honkai? No, of course not. Paying the price and defeating Honkai, that is an issue for humanity. Of course, there's no doubt that I'm a human. which is exactly why I expect you to transcend everything. This presence is, yes, is the power of finality. Compared to it, we're no more than blades of grass. It knows no emotion and is tireless. Its sole purpose is to cycle all things and reshape civilization. Just like the inevitable death, it hovers above the head of human civilization and doesn't care to sneer at us. I once said this to another challenger. Every intelligent life in the universe is restricted by its way of existence. It's a barrier that cannot be conquered by will. And facing Project Stigma, it's this way of existence you need to challenge. I expected more from you Hershers. It's not over. Flames won't go cold. They will only reignite. Keep going, humanity's Hershers. Don't underestimate the power of finality. The battle has just begun. What to do? What would Mr. Yang do in the situation? Too slow. 孵化。
班长，
In the end, Fu Huan and
还是
Herrscher
班
of
长和使者
Sentience
日常跑后
protected
路，
us,
使用
using a
黑洞
pseudo black
才
hole
会
to
消
buy
耗最少的
time.
时间。
This is the same
这是
strategy
瓦尔特
Mr.
先
Young
生
used
曾在月
in
球
On
上
the
使用过的
Moon.
战法。
Alas, this
虽
outcome
然这
is
个结果的确
unexpected,
出人意料，
but
但只是拖延
simply
时
buying
间，
time doesn't
这可
sound
不像
like
是
the
你们
path
所
you
追求的道
seek.
路啊。为什
Why
么
must humans do
神
such
秘总是要
futile
做
and
这么
sad
徒劳无
things?
功，还有令人伤感的事呢？不过，
But the outcome isn't so
眼下的
bad.
结果倒也不坏，虽然有些
I
对不起
feel a
尊
bit
主，
sorry for my sire.
但作
But
为
as
认识
new
还不久
friends,
的朋友，
we need to spend some time
我们总
together,
要有
don't
一
we?
些独处的时间，不是吗？
You. Before she could say another word, an intense blankness assaulted her and pulled her into the darkness like amnesia gas. Silence ruled the field. And so, Branya and her two friends fell into sleep and the bubble universe again.
去哪儿？希尔，收到。希尔正在前往目的地。舰长要带希尔去哪儿？希尔，收到。希尔，收到。